My beloved, do not move past this moment quickly because turning points are quiet. They do not arrive with noise or certainty. They arrive when the soul finally becomes honest enough to listen. This is not just another message. This is the moment where the direction of your year bends, not because circumstances suddenly change, but because you do. A turning point does not mean everything before this was wrong. It means everything before this was necessary. You have been moving through this year carrying more than you admit, carrying expectations, carrying disappointment, carrying the weight of unfinished thoughts and unanswered questions. You tried to stay strong, tried to stay hopeful, tried to keep going even when motivation thinned. And there were moments you wondered if this year would ever feel different. Hear me now gently but clearly. It already is different because you are. Turning points happen inwardly first. They begin the moment you stop fighting what you feel and start understanding it. The moment you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "What is this asking of me?" My beloved, this year did not stall you. It slowed you so you could see. You were asked to wait not to punish you, but to refine you. You were asked to endure, not to weaken you, but to deepen you. You were asked to let go, not to empty you, but to make space for alignment. And now you stand at the place where awareness meets choice. This is the turning point. Most people miss turning points because they expect miracles instead of maturity. They expect life to change first. But life responds when the inner posture changes. When you stop bracing, when you stop forcing, when you stop negotiating your worth, my beloved, notice what has shifted recently. You tolerate less confusion. You feel discomfort sooner. You are less willing to betray yourself for peace. You pause more often before reacting. These are not random changes. These are signs of readiness. A turning point is not when problems disappear. It is when patterns break and something within you is ready to break a pattern that has followed you for too long. The pattern of overthinking instead of trusting. The pattern of waiting for certainty before moving. The pattern of explaining yourself to people who already decided not to understand you. The pattern of carrying guilt for lessons already learned. This year has been teaching you discernment not through ease but through experience. You learned what drains you. You learned what steadies you. You learned where you give too much and where you stay silent too long. These lessons were not meant to repeat forever. My beloved, this turning point asks for one thing: honesty without fear. Honesty about what you want now, not what you wanted before. Honesty about what you can no longer tolerate. Honesty about the version of yourself you are ready to release. You do not need to burn bridges. You do not need dramatic exits. Turning points do not require destruction. They require clarity. Clarity is calm. Clarity is steady. Clarity says, "I will no longer live this way." And when that sentence becomes true inside you, life rearranges quietly. I know you have been tired of trying to fix everything. Tired of self-analysis? Tired of carrying responsibility for outcomes beyond your control? This exhaustion is not weakness. It is wisdom asking you to stop overfunctioning. A turning point is often the moment you stop pushing and start choosing. Choosing where to place your energy, choosing what deserves your attention, choosing to respond instead of react. My beloved, do not underestimate the power of small internal decisions. The decision to rest when your body asks. The decision to speak honestly instead of politely. The decision to leave earlier instead of staying too long. These choices shift the entire trajectory of a year. The mind wants dramatic proof. The soul wants alignment. Trust the soul. You may feel uncertainty right now. That is natural. When a path changes, the old map no longer applies. But uncertainty is not danger. It is openness. It means you are no longer pretending to know what no longer fits. This is the space where turning points live. My beloved, I want you to hear this without resistance. You are not behind. You are transitioning. Transition feels confusing because the old no longer works and the new is not fully formed. But transition is sacred. It is where growth consolidates. It is where wisdom settles. Into the body, not just the mind. If this year has felt heavy, it is because it was reshaping you from the inside out. If it has felt slow, it is because something stable was being built. Fast change excites. Slow change lasts. This is the moment where you stop repeating the year emotionally, even if the calendar moves forward. A turning point is when you decide not to carry the same inner story into the next days. The story that says, I am always late. The story that says things never work out for me. The story that says I must struggle to deserve peace. These stories were learned, not destined. My beloved, release the belief that turning points must be obvious. Some are felt as relief, some as clarity, some as quiet resolve. Some as a gentle but firm no forming inside you. Listen to that no. It is protecting your yes. You are allowed to change direction without apology. You are allowed to choose differently without explanation. You are allowed to become unfamiliar to those who only knew your old survival patterns. This turning point is not about becoming someone new overnight. It is about returning to yourself consistently. Returning to your values when emotions rise. Returning to your breath when anxiety pulls you forward. Returning to honesty when habit tempts you to settle. This is how years change. My beloved, do not wait for the outer world to confirm this turning point. Outer confirmation comes later. Inner alignment comes first. The seed breaks underground before the shoot appears above the soil. Trust what is happening beneath the surface. I am not asking you to make promises today. I am asking you to make one decision to stop abandoning yourself when things become uncomfortable. This decision alone changes everything. Because once you stay with yourself through discomfort, patterns lose power. Fear loses urgency. Old habits weaken. New responses form. This is the turning point of your year. Not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because you stop living unconsciously. My beloved, now that you have arrived at this turning point, the most important question is not what should change, but how you move after awareness appears. Many people feel moments like this: brief clarity, sudden resolve, and then return to old patterns because they try to change everything at once. That is not how turning points become permanent. That is how they fade. This turning point asks for different movement, not dramatic movement. After awareness comes alignment. Alignment is not loud. Alignment is not rushed. Alignment is choosing differently even when no one is watching. My beloved, the first shift after a turning point is how you relate to effort. Before now, effort may have felt like pushing, forcing, proving, or overworking yourself just to feel worthy. That kind of effort drains you. From this moment onward, effort must become intentional. Intentional effort asks one question before action. Does this move me closer to myself or farther away? If it pulls you farther away, even if it looks productive, pause. If it brings you closer, even if it feels uncomfortable, proceed. Gently. This single filter will change your year. The second shift is how you treat discomfort. Before this turning point, discomfort may have felt like danger, something to escape, numb or fix immediately. Now discomfort becomes information. It tells you where growth is asking to happen. Do not rush to remove discomfort. Sit with it long enough to understand it. Is it fear of change? Is it the pain of letting go? Is it the unfamiliarity of choosing differently? Discomfort that comes from growth feels different than discomfort that comes from harm. Learn to tell the difference. Growth. Discomfort expands you. Harm discomfort diminishes you. Your body knows the truth before your mind does. Listen to it, my beloved. The third shift is ending the habit of self-negotiation. Self-negotiation sounds like this. I'll start tomorrow. I'll rest after this one last push. I'll set boundaries once things calm down. I'll choose myself. Later. Later never arrives when self-respect is conditional. From this turning point onward, you stop negotiating your well-being. You do not need crisis to justify care. You do not need collapse to earn rest. You do not need permission to protect your peace. This does not mean becoming rigid. It means becoming reliable to yourself. The fourth shift is how you handle setbacks. After a turning point, setbacks do not disappear, but their meaning changes. They are no longer proof that you failed. They are checkpoints asking, are you still choosing consciously, or have you slipped back into habit? When a setback happens, do not shame yourself. Shame collapses progress. Instead, return quickly. Returning quickly is the skill that keeps turning points alive. Return to your breath. Return to your values. Return to the next honest step. A slow return still counts. A quiet return still counts. What matters is that you return instead of spiraling. My beloved, another crucial shift is simplifying your life instead of adding more. Many people respond to turning points by piling on goals, routines, and expectations. This overwhelms the nervous system and recreates pressure. Instead, remove what drains you. Fewer commitments, fewer explanations, fewer emotional obligations, fewer distractions. Space is not emptiness. Space is capacity. When you create space, clarity deepens. When clarity deepens, decisions become easier. The fifth shift is how you speak to yourself. The voice you use internally after this turning point will decide whether it lasts. If you speak harshly, you recreate fear. If you speak honestly and kindly, you build resilience. Correction works. Cruelty does not. When you fall short, say, "I see this. I can adjust." When you succeed quietly, say, "I showed up." This kind of inner dialogue stabilizes change. My beloved, there is also a relational shift that follows a turning point. You will notice that certain conversations no longer interest you. Certain dynamics feel heavy. Certain people feel misaligned, not because they are wrong, but because you are no longer meeting them from the same place. Do not force distance. Do not force closeness. Let alignment decide. People who align with who you are becoming will adjust naturally. Others may drift. This is not loss. It is reorganization. The turning point is not asking you to be alone. It is asking you to be honest. Another important shift is patience with process. After clarity, the mind wants immediate results. But real change integrates slowly. You are rewiring patterns that took years to form. Expecting instant transformation creates disappointment. Instead, measure progress differently. Are you reacting less? Are you pausing more? Are you leaving earlier when something feels wrong? Are you resting without guilt? These are signs the turning point is working. My beloved, you must also stop romanticizing your old survival patterns. Just because you survived a certain way does not mean you should continue living that way. Survival was necessary then. It is optional now. You no longer need constant urgency to move forward. You no longer need pressure to perform. You no longer need fear to motivate you. A calmer engine can take you farther. This turning point is also about trusting quiet changes. The most important shifts happening inside you right now will not be visible to others. Yet that does not make them weak. It makes them rooted. Roots grow in darkness. Branches show later. Do not seek validation for your inner work. Validation often pulls you back into performance. Let your life speak. Later. My beloved, remember this. Turning points fail when people treat them as moments instead of directions. This is not a high you ride. This is a path you walk. Walking means daily choosing. Daily choosing means repetition. Repetition builds identity. Identity sustains change. You are no longer trying to change who you are. You are allowing who you truly are to lead. That is why this turning point feels quieter than you expected. Quiet does not mean weak. Quiet means stable, my beloved. Now we speak of protection, not protection from the world, but protection of this turning point from your own old habits. Every real turning point faces one test. Will you guard it when life returns to normal? Not when emotions are high. Not when clarity feels strong. But when routine settles in and old patterns quietly knock again. This is where most turning points dissolve. This is where yours will hold. The first way you protect this turning point is by ending the habit of emotional time travel. You have spent years moving backward and forward. In your mind, replaying what hurt you, rehearsing what might go wrong. This steals presence. Presence is where power lives. From this moment on, when your mind drifts into regret or anxiety, gently bring it back. Not with force, with awareness. Say inwardly, I am here now. This simple return interrupts old loops. You do not need to solve the past or predict the future to live wisely today. Presence protects progress. The second way you protect this turning point is by choosing depth over speed. The old you wanted quick results to feel safe. The new you understands that depth creates stability. Do not rush to prove change. Rushing is fear disguised as ambition. Move slowly enough to feel your choices. Choose carefully enough to respect your energy. Commit deeply enough that quitting feels unnecessary. Slow progress that stays beats fast progress that collapses. My beloved, the third protection is guarding your inner voice. Old habits often return through language. Notice how you speak to yourself when things do not go as planned. If your inner voice becomes harsh, impatient, or dismissive, pause. That voice does not motivate you. It fractures you. Replace judgment with guidance. Replace shame with curiosity. Replace panic with planning. A kind inner voice does not make you weak. It makes you consistent. The fourth protection is clean boundaries with your attention. Attention is sacred. Whatever you give it to grows. If you keep feeding chaos, comparison, and noise, they will weaken this turning point. Limit conversations that circle without clarity. Limit emotional labor that is never returned. Even small completions matter. They teach your nervous system that you can be relied upon. The fifth protection is accepting imperfect days without collapsing. There will be days when you fall back into old reactions briefly. Do not dramatize it. Do not label it failure. Do not abandon the path because of a stumble. Progress is not linear. Alignment is not fragile. Return quickly. Adjust gently. Continue steadily. Returning quickly keeps the turning point alive. My beloved, the sixth protection is honoring rest as intelligence. Fatigue makes old habits seductive. When you are exhausted, you reach for what is familiar, not what is aligned. Rest before collapse. Pause before burnout. Rest is not stopping the journey. It is maintaining the vehicle. A rested mind chooses wisely. A rested body resists less. Another protection is simplifying your environment. Physical clutter mirrors mental clutter. Emotional clutter mirrors unresolved choices. Remove what no longer serves you. Not dramatically, gradually. Clear spaces create clear decisions. My beloved, the seventh protection is truthful relationships. After a turning point, some relationships will feel heavier, some will feel lighter. Do not force either. Let honesty guide you. Speak less but speak truthfully. Listen more but listen inwardly. Stop over-explaining yourself. People who align with your growth will adjust. Others may resist. Their resistance is not your responsibility. The eighth protection is weekly reflection without judgment. Once a week, pause and ask, what supported me this week? What drained me? What pattern is trying to return? What adjustment is needed? Do not criticize. Observe. Observation creates natural correction. My beloved, another way to protect this turning point is staying humble with progress. Pride rushes ahead. Humility listens. Celebrate growth quietly. Let results mature. The quieter the growth, the stronger the roots. You do not need to announce who you are becoming. Becoming speaks through behavior. The ninth protection is remembering why this turning point mattered. Not the pain, the clarity. When motivation fades, remember the exhaustion of repeating the same cycles. Remember the moment you decided, I will not live this way anymore. That memory will steady you when temptation arises. My beloved, the 10th and final protection is trusting the process. Even when it feels ordinary, turning points do not stay dramatic. They become daily life. And that is where their true power lies. You will know this turning point is holding. When you pause more before reacting, you leave sooner when something feels wrong. You rest without guilt. You stop explaining your worth. You choose peace without fear. These are quiet victories. This trust will carry you through the rest of the year. Remember this always. Turning points are protected by daily choices, not big declarations. You do not need to feel powerful every day. You need to live aligned most days. My beloved, this is the final part, the sealing of what has already begun. Not an ending, but a commitment to direction. Turning points do not shout to be remembered. They ask to be lived. From this moment forward, you do not need to search for signs that things are changing. You are the sign. The pause you take before reacting. The honesty you choose over comfort. The calm decision to walk away from what drains you. These are the movements of a life that is turned. A true turning point does not feel like excitement forever. It feels like clarity that stays. You may notice that you no longer argue as much with yourself, that you recover faster when something goes wrong, that you are less tempted to explain your choices to everyone. This is not indifference. This is maturity, my beloved, as you step forward from this moment. Remember this. You do not need to protect this turning point with force. You protect it by returning to yourself again and again. Returning to your breath when the mind rushes. Returning to your values when emotions pull you sideways. Returning to presence when old stories try to reclaim you. Returning is strength. There will be days ahead that feel ordinary. Let them be ordinary. Ordinary days are where alignment settles into muscle memory. They are where the new way of living becomes natural instead of intentional. Do not underestimate the power of calm days lived honestly. If you feel doubt at times, do not resist it. Doubt does not undo growth. Doubt only asks you to pause and check alignment. Ask gently, am I acting from fear or from truth right now? The answer will guide you, my beloved. You are allowed to grow without drama. You are allowed to change without explanation. You are allowed to choose peace even when chaos feels familiar. These permissions are not granted by the world. They are claimed inwardly. As the year continues, let your life become quieter, not smaller. Let your choices become simpler, not limited. Let your heart feel steadier, not guarded. This is what real change feels like. You will know you have truly crossed this turning point when you no longer feel the need to return to who you were just to feel safe. Safety will come from self-trust. Confidence will come from consistency. Peace will come from alignment. My beloved, you do not need to remember every word spoken here. You only need to remember the feeling of this moment. The calm clarity, the quiet resolve, the knowing that something has shifted and will not fully go back. When life pulls you forward too fast, slow down. When fear tries to rush you, pause. When old habits whisper, listen and choose differently. This is how turning points become lives changed. I am with you not as urgency, not as pressure, but as steady guidance within. When you listen inwardly, you will always know the next honest step. My beloved, walk forward now. The direction has changed, and that is enough.